It's Color War Day, and we got fireworks going off literally and figuratively this week. Kristen here, and we are talking about High School Musical, the series, Season 3, Episode 6. The cast gets into a color war, and my favorite musical performance happens in this episode. Let's talk about it. First of all, I love how they started off this episode with Corbin Blue sneaking into the guys' bunk and waking them all up. You got Ricky almost attacking Corbin, and then Carlos is like, what if I wasn't wearing a shirt? And the producer's like, you're wearing 3 shirts. I don't know, I just thought that was hilarious. I just really love the dynamic that he brings to the show with like the meta humor and like the fact that he doesn't remember any of the kids' names, and it's just so funny.
Can we do the Wildcat cheer, please?
Listen, Carla, I'm grateful for my time in the HSMCU. It's the High School Musical Cinematic Universe. Those days are in the past.
Last week we saw Ricky say something that he wishes maybe was not caught on camera, him confessing how much he likes Gina. And he talks to Corbin Blue about it getting removed from the documentary, and he's like, absolutely not. Unless you're talking about Nickelodeon, we're keeping it in. We also get a Disney Channel game shout out here, which I thought was so much fun. And it's like, this is why Corbin Blue was so into Color Wars, because it reminded him of his Disney Channel games days.
It's Color War!
As we get into the Color Wars, we're divided into 2 teams. We have the yellow team, led by Maddox, with Courtney, Carlos, and Jet. And then the blue team, led by EJ, with Ricky, Ashlyn, and Gina. And it's like they knew the drama and wanted to divide them accordingly. It's like, oh yeah, we know there's a love triangle, let's put them together. We know that there's some brother-sister rivalry, let's put them together. Although I have to say, I think they did a really great job of progressing the Maddox and Jet storyline. Ricky's really been, I think, like a little bit of a mentor or a guide for Jet in a way. Maybe he sees a little bit of himself in him. And we do get to learn a little bit more about what happened with Jet and Maddox. And the fact that Jet outed Maddox wasn't on purpose. It was more of like a, how come this person's doing something and I can't do it?
I thought those texts came from a guy. And I was like, why does she get to date when I'm not allowed to, you know? I mean, I just didn't really know what I was looking at.
And then it kind of turned into this bigger issue of him accidentally outing his sister without meaning to. And Ricky's like, the best way to reconnect with someone is to throw yourself into the thing that they enjoy, which is what he did with Nene and how they got back together, and what Jet does in this episode to connect more with Maddox and show that he really does want to change and be there for his sister.
I once knew this girl who was pretty mad at me, and I deserved it. One thing that really helped is that I threw myself into something she cared about. Like, I joined the show and I worked really hard.
Is being a theater kid the answer to like everything in your world?
There's a lot of fun games in this Color War. One of them includes basketball, and it's funny because Gina obviously has moves. She's a dancer, but she's like, but I'm not good at sports, I can't play basketball. And she ends up having this like hallucinatory dream when she gets hit in the head with a basketball, where she and Corbin Blue have the most epic basketball themed dance number ever. The song was called A Different Way to Dance, and it was just perfect because it really brought back those Chad Danforth vibes, like, I can't dance, you can, and like, oh, I loved it. I was like losing my mind. It was just so much fun, and I don't know why I didn't think about Corbin Blue having a musical number, but like, of course he would, right? Like, he's just not gonna cameo and not perform, and it was, I think, one of the best numbers of the series. Like, I could just see this number going viral. Like, it was so fun. And then when Gina gets up and it's her turn to shoot that basketball hoop, she does this awesome like ballerina spin into shooting the hoop and making the basket, and it was epic. But unfortunately, EJ wasn't there to see it. In this episode, the 2 of them made up at the beginning and were like, we're gonna win together, we're gonna work together and spend the day together during Color Wars. And EJ has been distracted by the special guest that he had come to camp to help him out. And that person was Miss Jen. She is helping train him so he can be a great director, although one of the things he already messed up on.
Rule number 50. Never reveal your true identity to the actors. Mystery is everything. Like the way nobody knows what EJ stands for.
Check.
Mr. Elton John Rocketman Caswell. I was really glad to see Miss Jen back because I feel like not only can she help EJ, but she can also be there and help a lot of the other characters go through what they're dealing with. So, Ashlyn obviously has been struggling with being in the ensemble, and also the fact that Maddox kind of is really reading her. Maddox is like, oh, you came here with a boyfriend? We'll see how long that lasts. Oh, you're a Leo rising. Oh, I think you have a crush on Val. And she's like telling her who she is. But is she right? I think having Miss Jen there, she's able to sort of be like, okay, like, I don't need to be who other people tell me I am. But there are some beautiful fireworks that go off at the end of the night, not only in the sky, but in Ashlyn's heart when she hugs Val for the first time. And this is pretty exciting because they're opening up the idea that Ashlyn could be bisexual, and she has this boyfriend Big Red at home, but is she finding herself attracted to Val as well, and what is that going to mean?
Oh, that's why.
Is Maddox right? Is her relationship with Big Red not going to work out, or is this just like a little crush? I guess we'll see what happens. Miss Jen is also there for Courtney, who, her anxiety kind of comes out again when it's time to climb the rock wall, and she says, like, you don't have to do this right now. And I thought that was a really important lesson of just like, yeah, it's great to overcome your fears, but like, you have to do it at your own pace. And if you're not ready now, then you're not ready now, and that's fine. Miss Jen also brought a special present for Ricky from his dad, which was this like piece of moon rock so that he can walk on the moon, as one of his things on his bucket list before his birthday. So that was really silly and fun as well. The end of the Color War includes a big sing-off where they performed It's On from Camp Rock 2. This was really fun. Everyone had like great vocals. They really gave the focus here to Val and Maddox and Jet, which I enjoyed. There was some really great harmonies there. And in the end, the yellow team wins because of Jet. He really came through for Maddox, and while she appreciated it, I think she's still kind of afraid and not ready to open up to him quite yet.
I just don't want to let my guard down and get hurt again,
Let's talk a little bit more about Gina, EJ, and Ricky. I personally feel like Gina was being a little bit too insensitive to EJ. I mean, he's had a lot going on. He's trying to put together this great production of Frozen. He's trying to prove something to his dad. That he's got a lot of pressure.
A perfect show is how I stay in Salt Lake. A perfect show means that my dad sees that I'm great at something and he doesn't send me off to leadership training. A perfect show is how I stay with you.
And I feel like Gina is not being very understanding and is kind of taking everything as like a shot against her. The fact that he missed her big basket at the Color Wars, like, he felt bad about that. And I felt like she was kind of being spiteful in a way. She decides to have Ricky help her, put together a nice romantic moment for her and EJ, which, again, feels kind of insensitive when we know that Ricky has a crush on her. But regardless, she's trying to fix things in her relationship with EJ. So she makes this big promposal gesture in this little canoe that really gives vibes of like The Little Mermaid. So I was like, ooh, could that be like an Easter egg of the musical for next season? The Little Mermaid, anyone? What other musical would you want East High to like hop into?
It's funny. I actually would love to do like The Little Mermaid, which is what North High was originally doing. But I just love The Little Mermaid so much. I think it has such a beautiful score. So I don't know.
Yeah, let's rival next season. We're gonna rival North High. We're gonna rival West High, and we're gonna do The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
All right. So who would be who? Who would you guys be in A Little Mermaid?
Okay, well, I definitely would go out for Ariel, but I feel like Julia kind of has that tapped in with the hero buddy. So I'd be like a Mer sister or something. I'd be so happy being a Mer sister.
No.
Or Ursula. Oh my God, duh.
No.
This one.
I feel like you would be an amazing like Flotsam or Jetsam, or like even like Sebastian maybe.
Sebastian, I'll take it.
I would love to do Flounder.
But EJ declines because he says, they're not allowed to have dates so that no one feels left out at the camp prom.
Maybe we could just sit here and, out of the way until the fireworks go off.
Fireworks is that a metaphor or?
No, yeah, there's real fireworks coming.
But it did feel like a metaphor. And it seems like they're trying to show us here, while Ashlyn is getting fireworks just from hugging Val, that there are no more fireworks between EJ and Gina.
Any minute now.
It made me sad to see that, just because I really liked EJ and Gina together. And at this point, the way that Gina's been reacting and treating EJ, I feel like maybe he would be better off without her, just because he's been dealing with all this stuff and she's not really getting it. I think she's being a little too sensitive about him not revealing certain things that, maybe he was trying to fix them, or, he's trying to get advice on how to make this musical great, and she's not really getting it. And at the same time, you got Ricky crying with his moon rock because he really likes Gina. So you know what? Maybe give Gina and Ricky a chance. Maybe EJ will find someone else to connect with who kind of gets what he's going through more. The episode ends with Jet saying that Maddox and her girlfriend ended up breaking up at the prom because of him. And then Ricky says he has an idea, so I'm like, what is this gonna mean? Are you gonna break up their relationship at the prom? I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Regardless, it seems like EJ and Gina are on the path to not being together anymore. When it comes down to it, I enjoyed this episode a lot. I thought it was really fun. I loved the Gina and Corbin Blue duet of A Different Way to Dance. I thought that was incredible. Just a really great way to use Corbin and kind of connect it back to his role from High School Musical, but in a fresh new way. And I was really glad to see Miss Jen come back. I think she helped a lot of the Wildcats in different ways. I will say though, I think that they're hinting at a lot of storylines for people, but not diving that deep into them. This really feels like the Gina, Ricky, and EJ show, and then Maddox and Jet. And then you have like Courtney dealing with anxiety, Carlos dealing with body image issues, Ashlyn dealing with like her sexual identity, and those three storylines don't feel like they're getting as much time or weight as these other two. So I hope that in the next, 3 episodes that we have left, they really explore those a little bit more and give them more time, because I do think that those are really important and exciting stories to see, and I don't want them to just be the B plot. Like, I want to see them have like the A plot at some points as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode of High School Musical, the series, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out the exclusive Discord available on my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!